From Koreatown, Los Angeles, thank you for tuning in to Ktown Social Club. We bring together all viewpoints from every angle to talk about the issues that you really care about. Don't forget to leave a comment, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and smash that notification bell. Check the description box below to follow our social media and get our podcast information. I'm Michael Kim, joined today by Ed Choi and Doug Kim. Thanks for tuning in and being together with us on Ktown Social Club. Hey, so how was your all's Thanksgiving? Ed, I saw that you had some duck.
Yeah, duck.
Why not have the turkey? What's wrong with you?
Why I have to cook it every year. My aunt was like, wanted to have it at her house, and I was like, I don't want to cook the turkey, let alone at someone else's house. So she was like, I've only cooked a turkey one time, and I was like, oh god, this is gonna lead into.
Wait, I thought they balked
cook the turkey
because you said that they were going to buy duck, but then you were like, oh, it's expensive, and she was like, never mind, and then
no. So then the next day, like 3 days before my aunt came to visit, and I was like, hey, what kind of sides are we gonna have? Are we gonna have Chinese sides or traditional Thanksgiving sides? Because in my head, I'm still thinking like, what do I have to do? You know what I mean? I'm like, please, I don't want to do anything. So then that got her head thinking, and she started thinking that I was saying that like, oh, it's gonna be weird not having traditional Thanksgiving. So then she goes home, and then she's like, oh, maybe Peking duck's not a good idea. And I was like, no, you can't backtrack. I was like, we're 3 days out from Thanksgiving. I was like, you're not gonna be able to defrost a turkey anywhere. I was like, I don't want to cook. I don't want to have to deal with that. So I was like, we're ordering Peking duck. So she's like, all right, well then can you call? And I was like, God damn it. So I call. All the great Peking duck places were sold out weeks in advance. People were like,
I guess they had the same idea.
Yeah, I'm assuming a lot of the Asian Chinese people had the same idea.
Like, fuck this turkey
or
shit.
they had the same idea for like decades, and they've been doing this as a tradition. And so, they were like so nice. They were like, oh, sorry, we like, 200. And I was like, I'm sorry, does that mean you're not taking 2 more orders? And they were like all being so nice. But yeah, TLDR, Peking duck Thanksgiving trumps regular Thanksgiving.
Wait, so you were able to buy it then?
Yeah.
Okay,
I had to like call around to 8 different places.
Oh, gotcha.
While my mom and my roommate were laughing at me in the background, which was aggravating me so much more.
Oh yeah, they're trolling you on purpose.
Yeah, they were like trolling me to my face, and I'm like on the phone.
Was this your first Peking duck Thanksgiving?
This is my first Peking duck Thanksgiving. It was the only second time that I've had Peking duck.
Right.
But
okay.
Oh,
I love Peking duck.
Where's the first place you had Peking duck?
Jirong on my birthday last year.
Oh,
so this is a fairly recent.
Pretty recent.
So you never had Peking duck until last year?
No. I love duck, so that's crazy that I've never had Peking duck before. Mm-hmm. But that's why I have that series, Asian
Yeah, the
Eats
crunchy
Asian.
glazed skin. You've never.
Crack.
Yeah.
I saw that tray of the duck. It looks like there's no bone at all. It's just meat.
Yeah. It's completely deboned, skinned. And then the skin is separate. And yeah. They give you the bones, actually. Jirong does not. But traditionally, Peking duck, it comes with the duck soup and the bones. NC Peking did do that. And there's something weird about those bones. The meat on those bones are, like, delicious. Okay. I'm like, I don't know what part of the duck this is, but the meat's delicious.
All right. And I saw that you also had pull up this, you had a pecan pie from the Netherlands that your mom brought from Korea.
My mom was like, she's like, I brought pecan pie. She's like, but also, she's like, it's not from Korea. I was like, what? She's like, after I bought it, I realized it's from the Netherlands.
Wait, does Korea do good pecan pie or something?
No, I'm sure they do.
Oh,
but my mom accidentally bought one that wasn't made in Korea.
Okay. Yeah. So how about you, Doug? What did you do?
I just went to a friend's house in the OC.
Did you eat turkey?
Yeah, just the traditional, Thanksgiving.
What's your favorite part? Is it the stuffing? Because Ed didn't have stuffing.
Oh, I always love the mashies, as you know.
The mashies.
The mashies.
Ew, that's the worst part.
I just like mashed potatoes in general.
Fair.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's just like, there's no real part. It's just like the combination of it.
Then you've never had amazing stuffing. And I feel sorry for you.
Well, I don't really like stuffing.
That's crazy. So. You've never had good stuffing.
Well,
yeah, you've never had good stuffing, I guess.
If your answer isn't stuffing at what the best part of Thanksgiving is, you've never had good stuffing.
Whatever.
Stuffing is like crack.
So you didn't have stuffing at all. Aren't you like sad?
Yeah, actually, I was at the grocery store yesterday, and I was just like having to talk myself out of like, you're not going to make stuffing. You're not going to
Wait,
make
but
a
doesn't
turkey.
the duck kind of balance that out then?
Yeah, so like my favorite part of Thanksgiving is outside of the stuffings the day after, when you take all the leftovers and you make a pie. You make like a
Turkey pot pie?
it's not I don't call it a pecan pie. I call it a turkey casserole, but it's essentially a pie. You put like all the stuff in it. You put a pie topping on top. You put in some, like chicken broth. And
Doesn't look convinced.
depending on how good your individual components are, that turkey pot pie should be crack times crack.
Crack times crack.
No,
Crack squared.
I've literally given that pie to people and watched as these people off the side of the road ate it out of the fucking container like fucking drug addicts. Because it's that good.
How come you never started a restaurant?
Because I hate restaurant life.
You just
Okay.
you just call it crack squared.
Yeah.
I'll just put crack and then the two. Yeah.
The logo will be an RX,
All right, cool.
Local drug dealer. Food.
And it's just turkey casserole all year
Yeah.
long. All year long.
All right, great. Cool. We also at our place, we did the turkey thing. The
How
best
was
thing.
it?
It was all right. We got the Thanksgiving feast from Dupar's
I've never
by
eaten
the
it.
Grove. They sell the thing, and you get the turkey, but you got to heat everything up. And
But it's pre-cooked, right? You just have to heat it?
yeah, but reheating the turkey took like over an hour.
Yeah, I bet.
And then the mashed potatoes, the gravy, the carrots, the stuffing, everything. Anyway, I really just mostly enjoyed the stuffing and the gravy, and not really the turkey or the mashies or the carrots or the green beans or the...
The turkey's got to be injected. If you're not injecting your turkey with juices, it's going to be not good.
Well, turkey's not a good
No.
meat.
No,
to
it's
begin
not.
with.
It's
So
like the
it's just-
worst.
Is it because it's just big and full of meat that we use that? I mean, is that what the
No,
pilgrims
it's
actually...
Just, it's just in the the early 1900s when we started this tradition. Or
Oh, it wasn't the pilgrims.
No.
No.
Okay.
I mean they
They have eaten turkeys.
they've eaten turkeys before, but like as they came to America, they
No.
didn't have like farmland or anything. They were working. They were starting to till the land themselves.
If we go far back and open some closed doors, I guarantee you there was a handshake somewhere with the turkey farmer to get rid of turkeys on Thanksgiving. Right?
I don't know. I'd have
would
to
have
do
to
research
be,
on that.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just another corporate sort of thing. I
Yeah.
think even in any sort of outrage about Columbus and the turkeys, I'm just kind of like, this is just a stupid commercial holiday anyway. So stop getting so angry about it. And I feel like it's kind of like divorced its meaning from that anyway. Like now it's just like a time when people come back from home or whatever, and
How come you didn't go back?
Turkey Day.
I'm going back I'm to New York next month, so
So you mean in January?
December.
Next month.
I guess December to January 18th to 6th.
Wait,
wow.
that meal from Dupar's, did you get to pick it or was it just a set meal?
I think you get to pick the pies.
Oh, you get to pick the pies.
2 pies.
But everything else is set.
Yeah.
Well, how many did that feed? Was a feast
There
for
was
6 or 8? Huh?
7 of us, and it was way more than enough.
Oh, okay.
And they gave, I think, 16 rolls.
Out of curiosity, how much did that cost?
I think it was like $275 plus tax, maybe.
Okay.
Dupar's.
So from a numbers perspective, the Dupar's does make more sense because our feast was $300. It was for
I see.
6 people.
See, now Dupar's has a holiday, I guess it's Christmas something.
Yeah, even that turkey in that photo doesn't look great.
Oh, yeah. It includes butternut squash soup, which we didn't touch at all. Homemade mashed potatoes. Glazed carrots. They were hardly glazed. Green beans, Amandine.
Wait, what is this now? Right now, DuPont.
This is where we got our Thanksgiving meal from. You also get sweet potatoes with marshmallows, cranberry sauce, dinner rolls, and...
So how much was it all in for you?
I guess after tax and tip, maybe like over 300.
And it was you, your mom, and...
It was me, my mom, and like 5 guests.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
No one ate the butternut squash soup?
Without having to like...
Not even your mom?
We had it last year. It was like, whatever.
Well,
really?
how was it like quality-wise?
It's very plain. I don't know. It's very like, I looked at everything. I'm like, it's so white. Like, there's no seasoning. It's just... The carrots, they say it's glazed. But when you open the tray, they're like carrots cut in half or thirds. And they just look raw. It was just like, serious. I mean, they weren't raw, but...
All they had to do was put some sugar on it.
Yeah, and I ate this carrots. I'm like, where's the...
Glaze.
Where's the...
Maybe it's like, they want... If somebody wants something plainer, then they can...
I know, I figured...
They can add something afterwards.
They make it for the masses, or they make it so that the person
It's
who
least
can't
objectable.
handle any spice or any flavor is satisfied with it.
That reminds me of this video I watched today where someone's eating a chicken. They're like, this is spicy. Where'd you get it from? They're like, Costco's rotisserie chicken. But yes, the masses apparently
some
have
assembly
really,
required.
Yeah, a really bad palate.
So, anyway, okay, all right, let's move on to the show. It's been 11 and a half minutes. All right, so that was the Thanksgiving wrap-up for Ktown Social Club. 2 of us had turkey, and 1 of us had duck.
The Asian turkey.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And we hope you all had a great Thanksgiving with your loved ones. And if you're outside of the U.S., then all right. Okay.
Michael's sick.
Yeah, fucking sick. Anyway, why don't we get on to our first topic of the day? There's something that... actually, there's something Doug posted that I want to show. It was something about mental illness or something. I just saw it like about an hour ago, and I just sent the link to myself. It should be near the bottom. So while I'm looking for this, how was the ride in, Doug?
It's fine, I guess.
Was it fine? Fuck. Let's just go to this. So, did you ever hear of this woman named Sophie Rain? You guys know?
I mean,
Sophie
I have
Rain?
now.
No.
So apparently she's this OnlyFans girl or porn star, I guess. She makes $43 million a year. Isn't that crazy?
Well, 43 million this year. I'm sure like.
But you compare it to like NBA players.
Right, but I'm
It's insane.
sure she's not going to be having a 15-year career where she's making $43 million.
I don't know. She could probably transition into the MILF and then the GILF content. Although it won't be 43 million
that's what I'm
forever.
saying. It's not going to be 43 million.
Anyway, the crazy thing is she the number 1 girl? I don't even know, but it's crazy. Like, I never even heard of her, and she's making this much money, and she's like a famous porn star. I never even heard of her. Anyway, so, thoughts on this?
I don't know. You clearly have thoughts.
Yeah, I think there's something... I mean, I think it's crazy enough that athletes get paid as much as they do.
I don't think it's crazy at all.
I don't think it's that crazy.
I think
Sex
athletes are
workers work
properly
a
paid.
lot.
I don't think Sophie Rain is paid properly, but it is what it is. That's the system we live in.
I
That's
disagree.
capitalism.
I feel like it's the other way around.
I
Personally.
don't. Do you know how much work it takes to be fucking Jayson Tatum?
Do you know how much work it takes to
No.
run your own
No.
thing? That's
No.
a lot.
Incorrect.
Well,
That's a lot of work.
Poll 1 million people whose job is harder, Sophie Rain's or Jayson Tatum.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
what
that's
about-
based off of
just-
that's based off of public
That's just
perception,
no.
though.
That's just based on facts and logic.
No, that's based off of your bias.
No, that's based off being
no,
like.
it's not. Do you know anyone?
We need a third party.
Do you
to
know
weigh in here
anyone?
Right now.
yeah, I'm trying to, but you guys...
Is the
Okay,
third
so weigh in.
person someone who does OnlyFans?
Weigh in.
I'm saying Jayson Tatum works very hard, and I'm sure his feet are all messed up and he can get injured and everything. But there are also many dangerous jobs out there where people can die and they don't get paid $35 million a year.
Exactly.
So that's what I mean when I say I
Sure.
think 35 is
But Sophie Rain is gonna die
No.
doing OnlyFans.
So what I'm saying is,
the question that wasn't the fucking question.
No,
the
but she could. She could.
No, hold on. You are supposed to weigh in on who works harder. Not this fucking...
He did.
oh, was that the question?
That's the fucking question. It wasn't this,
okay, don't fucking yell at me.
Because you're like...
Don't fucking yell at me.
That's because you're like, it's, well, a person can die on the... Well, that doesn't have anything to do with the argument we're talking about.
But it does. She
No,
could die.
it
okay,
doesn't.
wait. I thought the question was, or the issue was whether or not he gets paid too much. So what I was answering was, hey, Jayson Tatum works hard, but there are other people who work hard that don't get paid as much.
And that was not the
But
question.
if the question is, does Jayson Tatum work harder than Sophie Rain? Well, obviously.
Yes, thank you. That's what I'm talking about. That's why this was going on for 5 minutes and you were not weighing in.
And you're still fucking yelling at me.
Because
Don't fucking yell at me.
You weren't obviously weighing in. And I have to deal with this fucking craziness.
But that is part of the conversation, though.
No, I have to deal with this fucking insanity that, the idea that Sophie Rain could be working harder than Jayson Tatum for $43 million.
You don't know that. Do you know a porn star?
Yes, I fucking do know that, actually.
Don't know that.
Oh, my God. Jesus
Sure,
fucking
he
Christ.
does train hard, but you also don't. Do you know what?
This is what I'm talking about.
It's
Okay,
it's
all
like the
right.
belief that influencers don't do work. Do you know how much work influencers have to do? They work around the clock. Is it different type of work? Is it physical work? No.
Jayson Tatum has
but it
had
doesn't
to
take
work
away from the amount of work that they have to do.
So much for
years. Jason Tatum at his job,
when he was fucking a teenager.
Jason Tatum at his job isn't vulnerable to being raped and murdered.
Oh my fuck.
So in that sense,
well, I think Sophie Rain can she can choose who she works with, but NBA players they go through a lot of physical. I mean, look at their feet. Their feet are all messed up. This is, I don't know. This seems pretty tough, physically at least. Although I think probably Sophie Rain is going to have a much more difficult time mentally as she gets older.
Sure, but then athletes go through physical stuff as after they retire too. It's not like their pain just
Okay,
disappears.
I'm agreeing with you, but I'm just saying I understand that from Sophie Rain's perspective. She's going to be all fucked up in the head probably later, and she's going to probably spend more money on therapy and whatnot. Whereas the NBA players may need more physical therapy. But anyway, my whole point was, I can't believe this porn star makes this much more than a basketball player, which then reminds me, wow, it's also amazing how much athletes can make.
Yeah, they're way overpaid athletes.
They're not overpaid compared to people who get paid the same amount, which are CEOs.
I know. So I'm talking about the system
but
as a whole.
CEOs are also overpaid.
athletes,
Right.
everything.
But in the context, CEOs are less deserving than athletes. Athletes had to do,
of course.
yeah, you have to be fucking
Right. So
perfect.
So I was commenting on our system.
Yeah.
So you agree then?
Sure, I agree with
Okay.
that point. But
We all agree.
Fine, whatever.
We all agree. The system is kind of messed up.
Athletes are way overpaid, yes.
Coal miners should make more. Anyway.
Trash pickers should be paid
So
more.
Sophie Rain in this context is way overpaid too, in your estimation, correct?
Obviously.
Yes, obviously.
Obviously, I find it strange that we live under a system where a girl can just go and have sex on camera and make tens of millions
But
of
that's
dollars.
what I'm trying to say is that if you word it that way, for sure. But she's also more of an entrepreneur than any athlete. And if you're saying that CEOs are making that money, then they essentially are CEO of
The
their own
amount of
business.
man hours that Jayson Tatum puts into his craft, are, it was just a billion times what Sophie Rain has done.
All right, but anyway, that's what happens.
But
so.
that's based off of stuff that you don't know.
No, that's based off stuff that I do know.
What do you know?
What do I know?
Have you?
What it takes to be an NBA athlete?
And do you know what it takes to be?
Yes, I do.
Based
There
off
is
of what?
no way that is
based off of what? Who did you talk to? Who did you meet?
Jesus
and who's
fucking Christ?
No, no, no,
Common
no.
sense. No, you know what? I don't even want to say anything more. We're just gonna have the people respond to this clip and show how insane you actually are.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It's based off of your imagination. You don't understand what it goes towards anyone's position unless you
I'm
do
the crazy
that work
one.
or
It's
you
just
talk
my
to them.
imagination to think that Sophie Rain put just as much of work, if not more, than Jayson Tatum into his career. That is,
okay.
I'm the wrong one. I'm the crazy one for thinking that.
All right. Leave your comments. Let us know what you think. And also, we said we were going to answer comments on our channel, right? Somebody did ask us a question. They said, how did you guys meet? Did you see that question?
I did.
So
I was at that. You have that picture, didn't you?
That's not how we met.
That's not where we met.
I saw Doug on. So the question was, how did you all meet? So for me, I met Doug. I first saw Doug on TV like 18 years ago. But
Oh, really?
yeah, because I knew the guy
you were
who
into poker.
I knew the guy who won #1, Jamie Gold.
You knew him personally.
Yes, I've told you this. I knew Jamie Gold personally. He said he was going to go there to the thing.
Oh yeah, I think. Yeah.
And then my friend was like, "Hey, watch TV. You know, Jamie's winning." And I'm like, "What?" And then we saw this Kim on there. We're like, "What the fuck?" There's a Korean.
You saw the pay-per-view? Or
I don't know. It was my friend's TV.
It was live though, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
We were watching it. Yeah. And yeah. Anyway, I was like, "Oh, there's a young Korean dude. He looks kind of
skinny, dumbass
douchey with his shades." I'm like, "But okay, cool."
at the New York Yankees jersey.
And then about 15 years later, I came across him on Twitter. Wait, I should have worded that wrong.
That 2021?
I discovered his tweets on Twitter a few years ago.
I thought it was longer ago than that.
Maybe 2020.
2019 or something.
Maybe 2019, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then I think we were just talking about Malcolm X at first. And I think this was before you were not fully communist yet. Yeah. Maybe you were kind of on a path to it. And then eventually we kind of met for a ramen, I think. That was the first time No. We had Korean barbecue with Gershom. We went to Gangwon-dong Baekjeong.
I actually don't remember that.
Wait, so you met Doug because you reached out to him?
Yeah.
I kind of vaguely remember having dinner with Gershom, but I don't remember the actual...
It was at Gangwon-dong Baekjeong, and Gershom was wearing a suit.
Was there like EDM blasting? I guess there's always
I don't know, maybe.
There.
But that's where we went.
And
then about within 6 months from that time, I asked Doug to do the LA Riots documentary for Radio Korea, to direct it, which he did. And then Ed, a little over a year ago, I kept seeing him appear on my social feed. So I hit him up and said, hey, let's have lunch. And then he was a no-show. And he didn't get back to me the next day. He's like, oh, shit, I forgot. And we're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I put it in the wrong day on my calendar.
So I was like, all right, let's just try it again. And then, so it was with Michael Wan, who used to be here. And we're like, let's see if he shows up the next time. And we were thinking that you're not going to show up, but then you actually did show up. And then we had a good lunch, I think. It was at Concerto, right?
Yeah, which still bothers me because they spell cafe with 2 F's.
Is that the Italian place?
No, it's Korean.
Oh, it's Korean.
It's a Korean-owned Italian-American fusion,
It's like a fusion,
whatever.
yeah.
They got like kimchi carbonara there. And then a few months after that, it was the Radio Korea 35th year anniversary event. And I invited Ed and Doug and some other of my homies, Gershom, David Yoon, and a few other homies, and sat them all at the same table. I don't think Ed mind. I don't think you mind, but when before you guys met, I did send Ed's profile to Doug. I said, hey, check out this guy's profile. What do you think? Because I thought y'all would get along. And Doug says, looks like a lib. And I said, you want to meet him? He's like, hell no. I said, well, in my mind, I'm like, well, too bad. You guys are going to meet at the 35th anniversary anyway. And by the end of the 35th anniversary, who were the two guys engrossed in conversation the most? It was Ed and Doug.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Was it?
Just at that part.
Just at that picture.
Yeah, it was just after dinner.
Oh, was it just after dinner?
During dinner, we were seated across the table from each other.
Oh, because
we're talking to different people.
People were telling me that you guys kept talking to each other. So
no, on the table,
I was talking to Harry.
I forgot who he was talking to.
You're talking to Harry Kim?
I was talking to Harry and David the whole time.
David Yoon?
Yeah. No, not David Yoon.
David.
The guy I was talking to was slightly older than me. I forgot what his name was.
Was it Robert? The real estate guy?
Yeah, I think he was like somewhat independently wealthy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was talking to Harry a lot about his experiences with David Cho.
Yeah, Harry Kim was also at the event. He was
Harry Kim?
He made a documentary called Dirty Hands, The Art and Crimes of David Cho. And he was like David Cho's buddy. They would go hitchhiking together and a lot of stuff together.
It was like while he was becoming David Cho.
Wait, so is
right
it
at the beginning?
A pro David Cho film or an anti or like a
No, they were like
apologetic?
really good friends in the same band. Right around the time that David Cho was becoming David Cho is when that documentary was made.
Yeah, so according to Harry...
Oh, so they were still friends when it was made.
Yeah.
No, of course. So according to Harry, he told me he was in film school or whatever, studying that, and he's like, oh, I got to make a documentary. And David Cho had said to him, well, make it about me. So he did. And I remember that documentary it had a following back then. Like people, all my like weird white friends were
What
like
year was that?
all into this David Cho guy. Maybe like 15 years ago. Yeah.
I see.
So anyway, Harry was there and a bunch of other people. But here's a picture of Doug and Ed at this is where they first met.
A rare appearance of my leather jacket.
Yeah.
It
So
was cold that day.
Of course, I'm mid-speech.
That's not a good photo of you.
Yeah.
Doug is listening though.
Some Ajashi's fixing his pants in the back like an Ajashi.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah.
He's he does sports announcing. Yeah.
I can't believe this is fair. I thought this was last year.
Pants fix.
No, that was this year. That's
Wow,
Elaine.
that is crazy.
That's Elaine, our Rocco Life host. I just noticed her. Who's that? I don't know who that is.
That looks like it could be David Cho.
This is the president of Radio Korea right here, Francis. And there's Kilograms. You guys sat with Kilograms, right?
Oh yeah. I didn't really talk to him though. I don't really know who he is.
He's Anyway, so what were you guys' first impressions of each other?
All I remember really
Less liberal than I
is
thought.
talking about Simu Liu.
Oh, I think we might have bonded over our mutual hatred.
You guys don't like Simu Liu?
Well, it's not that we don't. Well,
I don't dislike him. I just don't
he's just
know
cringe.
how I feel about him.
Oh, I see.
He's just so cringe sometimes. It's just kind of like,
Like on Dragon's Den, did you think that was cringe when he was?
I mean, there are two moments now, but which one? Are you talking about the boba thing or
Yeah, the
about
boba
sword
thing.
Oh, the boba thing. I mean, it's just kind of like yes, he brings up some good points, but it's just kind of like at the same time, who the fuck cares?
Right.
Lots of people cared.
Well, it's just kind of like the entire Asian American community is like all talking about this shit, and then like what happened in the past fucking 4 years, when our elders were getting annihilated, or just
Oh, you mean
Gaza?
you're
for
saying
example. They don't say shit about Gaza or whatever.
So you're saying
but
these-
it's just this thing that a cultural appropriation that is this huge blight on our community that needs to be fucking like that. All of our complaints are all fountaining from this terrible crime against Asian Americans.
Most of the things that you just listed, aren't they all colonization technically from white people?
Yeah, but there are degrees of severity and
So you're saying that these Simu Liu and maybe other Asian celebrities, they can't be bothered to talk about Asian hate or
anything
Gaza.
that's really actually relevant except for stuff that affects them commercially.
But if it comes to boba, they're all over that.
Yeah, because that affects their bottom line. They're like, oh yeah, I can sell this shit. I can, make a boba mofu or whatever, Wong Fu Phil does, and promote his shit or whatever and make a little coin on the side. Yeah, they're just protecting their own fucking bags.
So you think Simu Liu is trying to protect his future boba business? Or?
Not just that.
You mean in general?
Just in fucking general. It's all just to like protect things that they can profit off of. They want to be gatekeepers to products. They don't want to be like fucking social justice or whatever. And not that I'm saying that they should be, but I'm just kind of like saying that like, yeah, it's not something to be like, oh my God, look how much they're self-sacrificing for this thing. It's just like, it's in their own fucking self-interest to like want to be the person that sells the boba, not to see somebody else selling
So
it.
you're saying the millions of people who cared about this was because all millions of those people were trying to sell boba?
What are you talking about?
I'm saying like people cared about that boba controversy that surrounded.
I'm not talking
Simu.
about the millions of people. I'm talking about fucking Simu Liu and like how, whatever, that thing he was talking about.
Yeah, but Simu Liu talked about it because he was on Shark Tank, essentially.
Sure.
He doesn't have a boba business.
Yeah, but his good friend Phil Wang does. And undoubtedly, there's probably going to be partnerships and stuff like that, whatever. And I'm sure there's under the table stuff.
Oh, I didn't know they were buddies. Okay. All right. So,
I don't know. It seems like a lot of insinuation.
all right. Well, hey, would it be okay if Asians made a keffiyeh, the Palestinian headscarf thing or whatever that thing, but with like watermelons on it instead of that pattern? You know what I mean? Would that be wrong? I wonder.
It depends on what your context is. If you're making it to raise money for Palestine, why would that be a problem? If someone's making it being like, I invented the keffiyeh, then yeah, that would be fucked up.
I think.
I guess no one's. Oh, there's some that have.
But if we're trying to talk about cultural appropriation, we held David Chang accountable when he tried to culturally appropriate fucking chili crisps.
Chili crisp, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because that was stupid and fucking cringe. He was like trying to like say that he created the Aunt Jemima of like fucking,
Well, he didn't say that he created it. He was just trying to cease and desist people from using the name chili French.
It's all about just basically people just trying to profit.
I'm not too familiar with David Chang, but based on what little I've seen and heard from him, he seems more.
He's an arrogant fuck.
Anti-Korean, pro-Japanese. Is that just me?
Oh, I don't know. I think
the way he talks about
I just
Korean
think his
food.
shit is mid. Like I've been to Fuku and whatever. I'm so unimpressed.
I remember he sold like a whole fried chicken in New York. This was like years ago, and I remember it was like $180 or whatever it was, just to get like a Korean fried chicken. And I thought,
he's just an arrogant fuck.
Who's paying this, and why?
Lots of white people.
So
like
he's
all
like
the people who eat those like Momofuku noodles, like which, like you said, they taste like nothing. It's always white people.
Yeah.
How about Roy Choi then?
Roy Choi. I mean, he's not as arrogant, but
he's not arrogant at all.
I just I've been to Chego. It's okay.
Chego's not bad.
It's not Chego though.
Oh, it's something else. It's something.
No. It's not Chego. Like Chegoda.
Oh.
He calls it the best, but
Thank
you're
you.
saying it's
Yeah,
not the
thank
best.
you.
Okay, got it.
Yes, it's not jam.
What is it? Bowls there? I've never been.
Yeah, like rice bowls and
Rice bowls.
Like A-Frame was pretty good. Kogi in its heyday was pretty good.
Wow, that was like 13 years ago or so. 14
Yeah, but
years.
unlike David Chang, Roy Choi doesn't try to appropriate. Like, for instance, like a lot of people are like, yeah, but he makes tacos. And it's like, right, but he didn't appropriate tacos. He melted tacos together. But recently, he actually opened up an actual taco joint. And he like puts the people that he works with like at the forefront of the business.
But yeah, David Chang, I think, has
David Chang is always like
appealed to white people.
Me.
There was a
Whereas Roy
picture,
Choi's
I think, recently of him on a bed with his shoes on, and we were like, and the Asians were like, "Yep, he's not Asian anymore. Get him the fuck out of here."
David Chang?
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be Googling Dave Chang on a bed.
With shoes. I think it's on a Twitter, so I don't think it's like a thing that he like.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's like
some of the stuff with David
searchable.
Chang, like with the shoes thing. Sometimes I wonder if it has anything to do with his
what?
His neurospiciness.
Neurospiciness?
Do media. Don't do. Never mind. Don't. It's,
Okay, media. Fine. I'm not a freaking internet pro like you. Why is there Kim Jong-un? Okay.
Never mind. Whatever.
All right. I'll just do David Chang shoes.
Whatever. It's
No,
not
I want to see if he's really hanging out on the bed with shoes. Does he have a white wife or something?
No.
Oh. I figured he learned that from her.
I do remember, like, you know what David Chang is? He's just like a more advanced Wong Fu.
And what is Wong Fu?
Just like people who just are Asian to sell Asian shit to people. That's what they are. They're just, like I said, they're boba liberals.
You're saying they're only doing Asian stuff just to make money.
Exactly. Yes.
There's no other purpose, like trying to.
Just like the Black Lives Matter people with their mansions.
You
in
mean the
Beverly Hills.
leadership?
Yes.
Yeah.
The leadership.
So you think Wong Fu and these people, they actually don't really care that much about their communities in terms of uplifting them and.
I mean, they might care about their, immediate 626 community because, they're their customers. But yeah, overall, in terms of like the Asian American community, no, of course not. They're just in it to try to like make a name for themselves.
Do you know any Koreans who like David Chang's food?
No.
I mean, he doesn't really make Korean food.
Oh, he doesn't. Oh, even the name Momofuku, it's not even Korean, it's Japanese.
No, the restaurant makes Japanese food.
Maybe you're right. Maybe he is just like Chinapa scum.
His mother was born in North Korea.
I mean, that doesn't mean anything.
And his father was born in Pyongyang. But he grew up in Virginia. And his parents moved in the 60s. Huh, interesting. He's been here a while. My father came in the 50s.
Right, but then they're not saying that they stayed in North Korea, right? They obviously escaped down south and then moved.
Right, well, yeah.
I would imagine.
My dad was born in Manchuria during the Japanese occupation in 1939. And then after the Japanese left, they moved to Pyongyang.
Wow, he was old.
He'd be 85 today.
Oh, he passed away.
Yeah, he passed away in 2007. At 67-ish or 68. Yeah, 67. It was before his birthday, yeah. So anyway, Virginia and... Yeah, he worked in Japan, actually. Maybe that's why. He also worked in Tokyo's Park Hyatt Hotel. And then he started a Momofuku. So I guess his work and everything in Japan
to a certain degree, but I also think David Chang came out at a time when like Korean food wasn't accepted yet, but Japanese food was. So I think he...
Yeah, he was in the... he came up
like,
in the mid-2000s.
Yeah. Where like not only was Japanese food accepted then, but it was starting to be elevated Japanese food at around that time. Like it wasn't just ramen and sushi. It was like... And Momofuku was kind of like at the forefront of that.
Which is like, when they say elevated, they just mean like it's now meant for white people.
Elevated. Oh, higher. Right,
Yeah.
yeah. Elevated, okay. He doesn't have any places out here, does he?
He does. He started in San Francisco, I think.
But not in L.A. There's no way he could have a Korean place in L.A., right?
Well, he doesn't make any Korean food.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, yeah.
All his restaurants are Japanese.
Why do you say that Korean mandu sucks? I guess he owns this place called Major Domo.
Yeah, I've been there before.
Wow.
Yeah.
100 plus. Californian restaurant.
Yeah,
Domo.
Major Domo started in San Francisco, if I believe.
Let me guess, that's a yuzu.
Whatever, yeah. Wait, so why did you bring him up recently? You saw him on something? And
Because you brought up Simu Liu.
Oh.
Why'd you bring up Simu
But like, when
Liu?
did you remember him? What did he say that was pro-Japanese? Besides his restaurants?
I just remember him talking crap about Korean mandu, saying it's like the worst dumpling in Asia or something like that. And then maybe combined with other praise I heard him say about Japan. And then I guess subconsciously I had that in my mind that all these places have Japanese names. So, yeah, maybe that's why.
Yeah, I mean, that view is profitable, I guess. More profitable, right?
Yeah.
People joke all the time that, like, even still to today, like, if you get a bowl of pasta and you go to a bowl of ramen, guess what? Which one's going to cost more? I mean,
Right.
It's still kind of like...
Yeah, Italian pasta is just Italian noodles.
cultural appropriation from the Chinese.
Yeah. So anyway, let's check out David Chang's menu here. Grilled bok choy with yogurt, plum, and chickpea. You can get fried cauliflower with pineapple vinaigrette, cilantro, and red onion. Do they have mashies here? Oh, they have crispy potatoes.
All right.
I don't know.
Well,
I can't. Ooh. Fried chicken and caviar. $255.
What the
See,
fuck?
this reminds me of that thing. Like, so I think it was like $180 like 10 years ago. And I guess he's brought that here. So he added some, $75 because of the caviar, I guess. He's got bossam,
Oh, I guess he does have some Korean food now.
Yeah, he's got Sam condiments, beef, rice. We should check it out someday.
Actually, I think he's had the Posan for a while.
Yeah, I think I remember a place he had called Sam.
Yeah, he did have a place called Sam. Actually, you're right.
Yeah. Anyway,
I think it was in New York, right?
yeah,
You know, he's just like, yeah, typical Gen X, like wants to fit in with the whites and found this niche of Japanese food, got really successful at it.
do you think he's a self-hating Korean?
I think it's possible, but I think it's more that he's white worshiping than he's self-hating.
White worshiping.
Well, I guess they're intertwined, right?
I guess because he grew up in Virginia, maybe
Yeah.
in the 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it possible he's like a CIA thing or whatever?
No, I don't think
David
so.
Chang, I'm also pretty sure is like on the spectrum, pretty hard.
Yeah, I don't think it's a
Aren't we all
CIA
here?
thing.
I've heard that we are.
Not everyone. No.
You are.
Yes.
Do you think Ed is?
It's possible. I mean, ADHD is also possible.
Do you think I am?
Same answer, I guess. I mean, I don't want to say anything unless
There is
you
a
get-
higher rate of neurodivergency now, but David Chang, if you like pay attention to his mannerisms, he's like pretty unaware of like some social cues for sure.
Well, yeah, that's me.
And sometimes I wonder how much of that influences his identity. Sometimes,
Yeah. All right. Well,
I mean, yeah.
not the autism. I just mean like his specific inability.
He found, I think it's just like he found a niche early on. It worked. He was successful at it. Keeps on going. And because of that, a lot of his worldviews were never challenged.
Yeah, I think he's an arrogant
for
fuck.
decades. And so now that, now that he's at the top of his game or whatever, doing TV shows and all this other stuff, it's just kind of like, well, nobody's really going to change his opinion now.
Because he
it's like
does. He does a
confirmation
lot
bias.
of that. He does a lot. He says a lot of things like opinion based as if they're fact. Like he'll say things like Korean mandu is the worst.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, I prefer this.
It seems to be a general Gen X Korean type thing, perhaps. No, just
considering his parents are from the north,
making a reference to.
Oh, I was like, I don't know. I'm not picking up what you're throwing down.
Okay.
wouldn't
I
his,
am now.
wouldn't his northern parents be more likely to condemn that pro-Japanese stuff? Anyway,
The northern parents probably fled the north, so they
I don't know.
probably hate the north.
I've never seen his dad on camera, but his mom was like, she was pretty chill. She was pretty chill. She was really funny, actually.
cool. And I
She
saw
just
your
like roasted him in his videos.
I saw your mom in your TikTok. She seems pretty cool.
Yeah,
She's
can
got
be
some
to other
personality.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I've said my whole life. My mom's an angel to everyone else but me.
I hope Thanksgiving was good.
Trauma. What? Yeah, Thanksgiving was fine.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving
and
was
your mom enjoyed it too, and you guys had a good time and took family pictures.
Yes.
What's the hesitation?
I was like trying to think, did I have a good time? But I hate taking fake pictures.
Did you? Was there any yelling at Thanksgiving this year?
No.
Okay, cool.
I did talk to some. Well, they weren't Gen Z. I guess they were older or younger millennial Koreans.
Okay.
Some fobs about like what they thought about North Korea, or they were
Of course.
1.5s rather, not fobs.
Younger millennials, so they're like late 20s.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
This
it
was
didn't
at
seem like-
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they're, taught, against the North, but it didn't seem like they were that opposed to like listening to, oh, okay, that's interesting.
I think the real key is you got to have a secret audio recording after you leave the room and then hear what they say. Because,
True.
the North Korea stuff, sometimes they're just like, yeah, right. And then once you're out, they're like, dude, that guy's effing crazy. Anyway, on to the next thing. I saw this chart. It says prevalence of serious mental illness among U.S. adults. This is from 2015, by the way. And overall, mental illness is 4% higher among female, 5% versus 3%. Higher among the younger people, 5%. And then if you're over 50, it's 2.8%. And then the by race or ethnicity, whatever. Hispanic, white, 4.5. Lowest is actually Asian at 1.7. American Indian, Alaska Natives are pretty high at 6.3. But the last one is 9.5. Like nearly 10% of this population has mental illness. Serious, not just mental illness, but serious mental illness. And these are those who are of 2 or more race or ethnicity. I thought this was interesting, but thank you to Doug for bringing this to my attention because it was Doug's tweet. He said, "Holy shit, documented proof of the effects of the white male, Asian female mind virus.
I like how you say the whole thing.
Interracial kids have nearly 6 times the rate of mental illness from full Asian kids." I don't know. Does this really mention if it's Asian and white? Because what if it's like black and white?
Most interracial kids are
right.
WMAF.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Over 50%.
Not over 50%. Not a plurality of mixed
okay.
kids are WMAF.
So most of the mixed kids, the biggest group of mixed kids are
Yes.
Asian white.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
No way. More than black and white?
Well, I'm not counting the, the pre-slavery raping and all that stuff. Like, obviously, there's a statistic that says that 20% of the average African American is 20% white. But
Okay.
that's due to, before 1960.
Yeah, but that only matters if that statistic doesn't include
it does.
Black
I'm sure it
Americans.
doesn't. It doesn't include. Well, because it puts black. So if black is a separate category, that means not including the 20%, whatever, the average or whatever. It's including if you have like a direct descendant that you can trace your lineage to.
Yeah, I would have to need to see that clarification.
Oh, wait.
for
It's
that.
white. And
Otherwise, why would they have a black category? That wouldn't even make sense. They would all be mixed under that designation.
It does seem white and black is more common than white and Asian. White and Native American is also more common than white and Asian, according to 2022, but just barely. But yeah. Interesting. Wow, black and Asian is quite rare. Anyway,
Well, all I know is that the majority of interracial marriage, or not the majority, the plurality of interracial marriages are WMAF.
so do you think that Asians and whites or Asians should just stick to Asians then? Would that if they're going to have children?
Wait, Asians should just stick to Asians?
Yeah, so if Asian people are dating...
I'm not saying like this is a prescription for anyone in a specific relationship with a specific person or whatever, but what I do say is like the numbers are not lying, right? So statistically speaking...
But what are those numbers saying though? Because those numbers are also...
Numbers are saying that like there's definitive like mental illness that arise from being in these pairings due to environmental factors. I think if you look for
but as someone
STMXs,
as someone who is in the psychology field, I also know that those numbers are incorrect. The reason why Asian Americans and the Native Hawaiian numbers are significantly low are because mental health is stigmatized, and a lot of mental health is self.
this is serious mental illness, though.
100%. But a lot of Asian people with serious mental illnesses also don't get professional help, so they're also not getting the numbers.
All right, but wait,
hold on. I'm not done though.
Just equalize the 2.9. It's still lower.
But in contrast, the reason why whites are significantly higher is because mental health is less.
Sure. So then, like,
stigmatized in the white community.
even if you like normalize it so that it's 2.9 or whatever, like the black community, right? It's still significantly higher.
So if you use that logic to use the reason why people with 2 or more races have a higher significant number is because the majority of them are mixed with white. White people who have less stigmatized mental health, and the reason for a lot of the mental health in mixed races is because of the lack of support in the mixed race experience. So if you're mixed with white and you're suffering from mental illness because you're having identity issues, then you have a higher chance that you're going to seek help because there is someone white in your family who is not going to stigmatize your mental illness. So I'm not saying that that's the reason why.
Right, but then
I'm not saying that
number should be 4.5. If that's If that's accurate, then it should be 4.5.
No, that's not how this logic works, because it's not the same number of people. It's the same number of people who don't stigmatize mental health, but now these white people aren't able to help them because they're suffering from issues that are not white related. That's why that number is higher. So again, I'm not saying this to say that those are the reasons why, but to stick to this graph significantly to be like, based off of these numbers, those numbers aren't accurate. Because
all I know is
there is
WMAF created Elliot Rodger, and
Right.
that was serious mental illness.
Did you read his manifesto?
I did not.
Yeah, but there is a lot of really messed up people who were not white.
I read parts of it where he showed his hatred. He was like, why is that white girl with that inferior Asian? He really hated his Asian side. And I think he really considered himself not Asian.
Yeah. That's mental illness.
His mother.
That's the effect of mental illness of these pairings. Like, not all of these pairings. I'm not saying all of them. I'm not saying, like, if you're in this relationship, you're condemned to a kid who's going to be mentally ill. I'm not saying that, obviously. But what I am saying is, clearly there's some sort of deleterious effect of this pairing due to how it manifests psychologically in the United States.
No, because one could easily say that it's better that those numbers are higher because people who have multiple races are then going to seek help to get answers for why they're having identity issues.
This is just jibber jabber.
It's not jibber jabber. You're interpreting the data however you want without any
third party.
You're a grown ass man.
Third party.
You're a grown ass man.
I can already identify that you will just throw in like whatever ridiculous arguments you can to make your ridiculous that common sense can provide.
Again, fight your own goddamn battles. You're a goddamn grown ass adult. You're a goddamn grown ass man. Stop looking at
his explanation
stop looking
make
at
sense?
Another person. Stop looking at another adult.
No, you're letting this craziness go on for way too long.
What do you mean this craziness?
That is what I'm pissed off about.
Remember when you
said I was angry at you? That's what I was pissed off about.
You have this problem where you think that you're intellectually superior, and you do this thing where you base your ideas off of your own imagination.
Okay. Well, that's why I'm saying
as
third
someone
party.
Who studies
as someone who likes to have an objective third party.
Somebody
to
who
mediate,
actually studies psychology, I can tell you that those numbers are exactly
so you're
skewed.
saying as actually somebody, you just used an appeal to authority for yourself while you were accusing me of thinking that I'm intellectually superior to making my own point. So you are a hypocrite because you just did what you said I was doing.
In my explanation, I literally said based off of your imagination.
Due to you not mediating.
Stop using him as you're a grown-ass adult.
This is just crazy.
Okay,
this is just crazy talk right now. This is just insanity. To say there is no deleterious effect of these pairings is just crazy insanity.
That's your own based off of your imagination. Stop.
Okay, Doug, what's your problem? Let me answer your question.
Okay, for you, do you think that there's no effect whatsoever of WMAF on mental illness, and that you're accepting this explanation of like jibber jabber?
I believe that WMAF couples versus AMAF couples will have children that are more likely to be confused and likely to be.
Thank you. That's all I fucking wanted this entire time.
Based
and you
off
could
of
not.
What?
Ask him.
No, it's just my belief, not based on anything, just my opinion. Anyway,
right. He's saying belief based off of what? Because you're presenting it as fact, and that's the exact thing that you got mad at Young about. You're presenting opinions as fact.
We see it as fact. 9.5. That is clear as day.
All right. Anyway,
right, and I just explained how those numbers could be skewed.
You explained that how they could be.
Right, based off of actual
But that
science.
doesn't explain the entire skew, is what I'm saying.
All right.
What entire skew? There's only one number.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Anyway, I did see on Reddit something yesterday that actually this kind of reminded me, this chart. And what I saw on Reddit was she's Arab, this Arab girl. She's like 21 now. She said when she was 17, her mom asked her to check something or change some setting on her phone. And her mother's obviously Arab too. And her father's white. So she went to her mom's phone and happened to see a text from her dad and her mom. And it was like something really racist. And she got curious and she read the message. And they were doing like hardcore like race play kind of. Like you, Brown, the husband and wife. The white husband was calling the Arab wife, sand N, you worthless whatever, and like I guess that's their kink or whatever. So the daughter says she's had it on her mind for the last 4 years. It's like she's like, I don't know, mental illness, right? And so she finally confronted her mother, and her mother was just like, well, your father never used those terms to you, right? He's not racist. Why would he marry me if he's not a racist? And the mother was basically just getting mad at the daughter. And so when I saw this thing, it made me think of that. And I've read similar. I don't know why. I like to explore what white people do online. There are a lot of sick, twisted white people who target like minority women and.
Yeah, this is like in Malcolm X's book too. He was always saying that like, they always try to portray black people as degenerate, blah, blah, blah. But I've pimped for white people, and trust me, they are into some fucking fucked up shit.
You pimped for white people?
No, that's what Malcolm X said.
Malcolm X did, right.
No, but go ahead, finish. What were you saying?
I do. Okay, I wouldn't say. So for me, I guess if I were to revise my opinion, I would say it's not necessarily like interracial children, but it's probably more common in where the father's white, I would say. For me, in my opinion.
Okay, because another thing is that Asian and Native Hawaiians have the highest rate of suicide. So one, incorrect this figure. Suicide stems from serious mental health issues. So one, how can they have the demographic with the highest number of suicide rates with the lowest number of serious mental health?
Again, that's not the number impossible. I'm litigating. Again, that doesn't explain the entire skew.
Yes, it does. Because one, that means that because that actually proves my point. In order for this to be accurate, it has to be self-reported. So one, it does make a difference because that means that these numbers are in itself already inaccurate. Two, second off, it's not just people with biracial issues because a lot of people who have different racial identities in this country suffer from the same mental issues. What number does that 9.5
have to be for you to be convinced that there's an issue?
It doesn't have to be any number.
If it was
there
50%,
has to be.
If it was 50%,
nope, it has nothing to do with the number. It does. No, it doesn't.
Because if it was 100%, you'd have to admit that you were slightly wrong. If it was 100, theoretically, you would have to admit that you were wrong. Correct?
But it's not 100.
No, but
why are you basing things off of your? Why are you continuing to base things off your imagination?
You are not allowing me to fucking.
I was literally in the middle of talking when you cut me off.
No, but what I'm saying is that your scale doesn't take math into the consideration at all. If it was 100, yes, you would have to concede. Now, do you concede if it's 99? I think so. Right,
but it's not even anywhere near that. So I don't even understand.
What I'm saying is, where does that number drop to for you?
But when you cut me off, when you cut me off to have this conversation, I was in the middle of saying it's not about the number.
The average person will. We'll just check the comments.
This is crazy.
Comments below, and we will see.
Ed, finish up, and then let the commenters
because it's the
decide.
same thing that I've said from the beginning. It has nothing to do with the number. It has everything to do with how this data came together, which was my point from the very beginning when you cut me off to go about it with what does this number have to do? It has nothing to do with the number. Okay. It has everything to do with where and how these numbers came from, which this graph says nothing about because it's inaccurate.
Do you agree with that point then? That we don't know where these numbers came from, how people reported, things like that?
I mean, then you could say that about any graph or any chart.
Most graphs literally tell you where the data came from. It tells you the pool of people. It tells you all of that information. This does not.
National Institute of Mental
courtesy
Health.
Of what?
SAMHSA, which is the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services, whatever. All right, so anyway, you guys let us know in the comments what you think about this issue. Do you side more with Doug or me or Ed?
I've talked to so many people. Yes, it's anecdotal, but it's just kind of like, yeah, I've talked to kids who have so many WMAF uncles or whatever that are rapey and abusive to like Asian wine. It's just like, what are you like?
What's your point? What does that have to do with anything?
That like on a systemic
my
level,
Korean cousin fucking raped me. What does that have to do with fucking anything?
Oh my
What
God.
does their race have to do with anything? Because there are equally creepy and rapey Asian people,
race
black people,
being,
any other fucking
like you say all the time
racist.
on this thing. You talk about white supremacy all
right.
the time, and you're saying that there's no difference between like
All
a
right.
white person. Let's say you bring over an Asian wife from the Philippines, right? You're in fucking Kansas or whatever, and you can abuse the fuck out of the wife however you want, and nobody's gonna believe her because all your friends, all the judges, all the things, they are white. So that's the actual white supremacy that's going on. So when you talk about white supremacy,
that have to do with
you
what
don't
we're
know what the
talking
fuck you're talking about because you deny the very white supremacy that
Make
affects
the connection.
our
What you
communities.
just said has anything to do with what we were just talking
No,
about.
the power dynamics are such that a white man with an Asian woman in a majority white town can dictate the conditions of that much more forcefully than any Asian
All right.
marriage in America.
And you guys let us know in the comments what you
so
think.
because of that, that means that they are violent? You're making leaps and bounds
actually
assumptions.
There are a certain amount of people, like I'm saying, like of all populations, there are a certain amount of people who are just predisposed to be psychopaths.
All right, and that's it for today with Ktown Social Club. Please let us know what you think in the comments.
Actual psychologists haven't reached a conclusion on that, but Doug has.
You know, just check out all the people who do.
And we'll see you next time, guys. Peace out, everybody. All right.